Ready for war, war, war. Ready for war, let my balls hang. War, let my balls hang.
These walls are closing in, this roof is caving in. But it's time to raise it then. Your days are numbered like pages in my book of rhymes. Got 'em cooking, boy, this crooked mind of mine. Got 'em all shook and scared to look in my eyes. I stole that fucking clock, I took the time and I came up from behind and pretty much snuck up and fuck this game up. Better be careful when you bring my name up. Fuck this fame, that ain't what
Go. So today I brought a Stella Artois. Everyone knows Stella Artois, famous beer in the world, good Belgian lager. 4.8 in England, 5.2 in Belgium. Very strange, but maybe the English couldn't handle the strong beers. This is a very famous one. No commercials in Belgium, but still well known. No commercials in foreign countries, but still well known. In every country you go, you'll find Stella. Brought another one, Duvel. Less known beer, stronger beer, 8.2%. So this is for a quick drink. This is for the enjoyment you get. Stronger taste, more precise, detailed taste. Like I said, 8.2, so quite strong. If you drink enough of these, you will have a lot of fun. Famous in Belgium, not so famous in foreign countries. I think if you ask what they know, Stella or Duvel, they like you most to answer Stella. So, but I brought a Duvel just to get some special Belgian beer here, and maybe he'll win.
Well, of course, everybody's heard of Stella Artois, and of course it becomes a beer that's very famous for getting drunk with on a Saturday night in town centres, and in that sense, yes, there's no doubt it's a very powerful beer that gets people drunk. In my view, it's gassy, and it's got there's very little flavour, and it's full of gas and air bubbles, and basically speaking, I find it very, very difficult to drink a large quantity of it because it just fills me up. As for this one, I have to say I haven't heard of it. I must confess that some of the stronger Belgian beers are more interesting, probably less gassy and probably a lot more flavour. So I would be interested in trying this one out and comparing it with one of the English beers that I've brought along. These are more likely to be the more popular amongst the discerning beer drinkers in England, as opposed to this one, who is just very popular for people who just want to drink lots of beer and get drunk.
Beer. So it was basically you're drinking just water with the taste, like a bit of flavour.
But what about the head too? Because you're very proud on that,
Yeah.
aren't you? What do you call it? The
Foam.
foam.
Yeah. In Belgium, with Stella, not with Duvel. Duvel
No.
you always got more foam because it's strong beer. With Stella, you always got 2 fingers of foam.
All right.
Every time you go in the bar, you go in just a restaurant. You
Yeah.
get a Stella, always 2 fingers.
Mm-mm.
That's a general rule. I wouldn't say rule, but
Yeah.
it's like a habit.
But help me out here, Arthur. I mean, why does anyone drink beer? Why do the Belgians? Why do the British drink beer? Are they looking for different things? Is taste more important to a Belgian than to Mr. Cowley?
Maybe. I don't know.
Don't worry, you won't take it personally.
No, I won't be offended. I might disagree, but I won't be offended.
Why are Belgian beers better than British beers?
Because there's
Ingredients?
no gas on it. The foam layer is also, if you pour it in, there's no foam.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain colour you get. It's brown or bronze-ish, and not blonde. The taste isn't that good either. Yeah, because in the UK you find 2 Belgian beers, 2 Belgian common beers in Belgium, but I've never heard of those 2 beers before because I never saw them in Belgium, which means they never make it to a foreign country because they're not that good.
Yeah.
But does this?
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, Duvel. Yeah.
I got that in Tesco.
All right.
It's nice.
Okay. That's interesting.
I mean, could you? Oh, how about if Arthur poured one of his? Can you pour one to get ahead?
Can
Probably.
Was
Will
that
you get
worth
ahead
doing
with
to
Stella?
show that? Would you get that?
Yeah, I can get it normally. So how we pour our beers in is take your glass. Normally you wet it first, so the foam stays.
Mm-hmm.
CO2 comes out too quickly. So if you pour a beer in Belgium, like Stella, for imagine, you don't have no foam. Within 10 minutes, your beer won't have any prickle.
Why do you need
how we pour our beers in is take your glass. Normally you wet it first, so the foam stays. We hold it at 45-degree angle, ish. Take your bowl. Normally you don't touch, but it's easier to touch, so you don't spill. You pour it in slightly. All of a sudden you hold it straight. And then, like normally, if you pour it full, you will have 2 fingers. No, I don't have 2 fingers because I haven't put it in.
Well, I noticed this. I was friends of mine now run a pub, and they were talking to me about the creation of the head. And the glass, this is not a good example of one, but at the bottom of the glass there's what we call a widget, which is a scratched a motif or a shield or something, and that provides, that causes the gas to rise. And if the glass is the wrong temperature, for example, or this widget isn't functioning, then you don't get this head. And they say to me, the guys that were pulling the pints in the pub where I was visiting, all the bubbles were rising because of this widget, which is a scratched thing in the surface of the glass, which I never knew about before. But of course, it doesn't interest me because I don't like to see a head. Now, I don't know whether I can pour this flat, but I ought to do it on this one time. But I would do the same because I would pour it like this in order to avoid getting a head, and I would keep it as such. And so I don't know if there's much difference there, but that's how I would pour any beer because I don't want the froth. I just want pure beer. Plus, also, if you're in a pub and they give you pull you a pint of whatever, and you've got that much froth, you've only got that much beer. All right. Whereas in my system, you have that much beer. It's just a little bit more. Clearly better. More for your money. So.
But in Belgium, the pints are 25 centiliters. So this is like a lot, and this is I think 33. So this is also like the heavier beers are more bigger ones.
Right.
But a normal Stella is 25.
Right.
And we got special glasses of Stella.
Yes, I'm seeing.
Normally I brought one, but it broke in the meantime.
Yeah, it's a very distinctive shape, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's signed with 25.
Okay.
And exactly measured by 2 fingers of foam.
Oh, I see.
So you have like 25 centiliters of beer,
and then the froth.
And then the froth.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
So we don't.
So you're not being shortchanged.
No.
Okay.
We don't spill the beer. We just like the foam, and that's why we actually created glasses for the foam.
I see. Okay. Right. Well.
It's also a very famous beer.
Yeah.
They also first clean the glass.
Yes.
Just because if your glass gets dirty, but then you see them like make it wet an extra time.
Exactly.
Yes.
Just before, like maybe your beer doesn't taste like water. Then it's just for the foam to keep that layer of foam like extra long.
Yes.
Because now you saw my glass wasn't like wet and the foam was gone after.
Yeah.
And doesn't it depend also on the temperature of the glass?
Yeah. Room temperature is good.
Yeah.
Right.
I think also if you like pour it in cold water, it's that extra cold, so the beer stays cool, and also.
Whereas proper beer in England is not served from a fridge.
No.
It is served from a cellar, so I would say it's cellar temperature. It's not room temperature. It's cellar temperature, which is slightly warmer than something from the fridge. Rather in the same way as you don't generally serve red wine from a fridge because you lose the flavours, and basically the idea behind this is that you maintain the flavours by keeping it warm. And of course we're famous for warm beer, and those people that come from abroad drinking our beer, they say this beer is warm, and it kind of offends them because I say, well, yes, but that's where you get the flavours from. All right. Warm beer. In a way, I think the cold, in my view, destroys the flavour. It takes the flavour out of it. Now,
But
not quite so strong, so therefore you can drink more of it. A friend of mine worked up goes up to Harrogate in the summer, and he goes to a pub where they serve a beer called Old Peculiar, which is very, very strong, absolutely gorgeous beer, lovely deep rich flavour. But the landlord only puts it on during the summer months when the tourists are here, because they obviously look for the Old Peculier and it's very, very popular. When the tourists have finished for the season and he just gets back to his locals, he puts a lighter beer on.
Yeah.
Because if he put Old Peculier on, you'd only have about one a night, or maybe maximum two. So his beer sales go right down because you can't drink lots and lots of Old Peculier. That's what 2 fingers. That's about a fist.
What would you say? Cheers in Belgium?
Santé
Alright,
Santé.
so really?
or Gezondheid.
Gesundheit.
Gesundheit.
Is that the Flemish?
Yeah, that's Flemish. Yeah.
So as we drink it, talk us through
In
it.
German, they say "Into die Binden kippen."
Yeah.
Good health.
So, when you're drinking this beer, you're experiencing a good flavour and a good aftertaste. That's what I think. A good aftertaste has this beer. It's not sweet, it's not sour, it's not bitter, it's like in between. Good taste. Maybe too much gas, I don't know. I like it.
So is this the malt, the barley,
Yeah.
the hops?
It's all combined in this flavour. You can't feel it now, but I think after a few you'll feel it. But after this one, if you drink two, you really feel quite happy.
Yeah.
if I can say it like that.
Or sleepy.
All sleepy. Yeah.
So can we just get what in one word? What do you taste? One word.
Beer.
Oh.
Do you want more?
Well, so-
Now I got Duvel. Like you pronounce it Duvel, we pronounce it Duvel. This is a stronger beer. It's more bitter. Very good taste, very detailed, very strong actually. You will taste it and you will think, good. Well, that's what I think. Maybe so I think about others. This beer contains more foam. It not contains more. If you pour it out, you will see there's a lot more foam creation. So this beer is also known for the big foam. It's also a very special glass. It's a bit like this, but wider. And then to the top is like smaller, and then back out again. So it's not flat. It's like a bit back out.
Yeah.
Very small glass. Very like big but small.
Do all the beers have different shaped glasses?
Yeah.
So there's Duvel beer,
all the beers
glass,
have.
and there's a
Yeah.
Stella. I know there's a Stella glass, but
All the
much
beers
every
in
beer.
Belgium have a different glass. Even if you go to a local town, like for example my town creates a beer called the Poes, which is cat in English. They even have a glass, their own glass. They maybe like the localest beer that you can ever imagine,
Right.
but they still have a glass.
Okay.
If you go to maybe a farmer who creates his own beer, still has his own glass.
Oh really?
Yeah. So we're very like
Oh,
prickly on that.
Yeah, yeah.
If you go to a restaurant, you expect a beer in the glass.
In the glass.
So they always say, "Yeah, sorry, I don't have a glass anymore." Even when you just go to a bar, "Yeah, sorry, I don't have the glass anymore." So, okay, all right.
Okay. But
But
they'll apologise.
If they have the glass, they always get the
Right,
glass.
yeah.
Okay, so let's taste it. Or you can pour it.
So as you can see, there's a lot more foam creation in this. So you need to let this beer rise a bit, so you can see beer get rise. This is also very prickly,
Right.
because in the commercials, you'll see in one commercial that there's a tornado, but if you pour it in the right glass and like the right amount and the full glass, you'll see that on the bottom you always have like this kind of tornado, as you can see.
Yeah.
They always come from the bottom.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And in the Duvel glass, you will see that they turn around like a tornado.
Oh, okay.
So in the they got used of that, and in the commercial, you see a tornado, and all of a sudden they switch to the glass of Duvel, and that's the commercial
Oh,
to show
okay,
this is a
right.
powerful beer, and that
Interesting.
is Give this to you.
Oh, thank you. It's very interesting because in the UK there's hardly any beer adverts on television. The only exception is Guinness.
Okay.
And they serve Guinness, and it reminds me a little bit because the Guinness, it's a very deep, heavy beer, and they create a lot of sort of currents in it, and that's an attractive sort of artistic approach, a little bit like a sort of tornado. But that's we don't advertise beer. Very rarely. We advertise Stella, interestingly. You get Stella Artois, and you get Guinness.
And this is it. This is the product to do it. So I think that'd be alright.
Yeah.
That's also quite special because Stella doesn't promote it in Belgium. But the commercials from Duvel also like very special. There's one commercial, this is my favourite one.
Right.
Where you see a young guy has a guitar, walks to the brewery of Duvel, and you see how they make it, how they taste it.
Okay.
Go to the basement and you see like rows and rows and rows just of Duvel.
Right.
And you see a guy play the guitar. That may be like they not actually do that, but
Yes.
just the intention to show that they put 90 days in making Duvel.
Okay.
So every Duvel is made with 90 days.
90 days.
Thank you, sir.
And that is how you see. I'll send you the commercial one.
Yeah, interesting.
And you see like rows and rows and rows just of like bottles of Duvel next to each other.
Right. Yes.
And that's how they create the taste.
Just like a door you can't get through when there is no one left to fool. Don't kid yourself.
Hey Jan.
Het is een banner.
Quasi ihres Wackers für das sind.
Number of Belgian beers. I've had a good number over the years. This, by its colour, it sort of tends to suggest it's not going to be such a rich flavour, because it's usually a darker colour.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Belgian beers that I've tasted are the darker ones with that deep, rich flavour. This is a nice flavour.
Yeah.
I think this would go nice with a curry.
Yes, yes.
I think, again, this is a beer which you could easily drink with food. And it's not just a sort of going out to the pub and having a few
Yes.
pints.
Yes.
But
This is a beer you need to drink with time.
Yes.
This is not a Stella where you can
You
drink
don't
in
just-
5 minutes and
you
order
don't
another
just
one.
A beer to savour.
Quaff it.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is like every few minutes you take a sip
Yeah.
and you talk.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah, you're
this
not-
is a talk beer.
You're not just drinking it.
No, you're not pouring it down.
Pouring it down. Yeah.
This-
No, I'd agree with
Now,
that.
you couldn't really drink this straight from the bottle, could you?
You could, but
Would you? Would any Belgian do that?
it.
maybe in a bar, you got a few drinks, you order Duvel, you drink it from a bottle, but
Okay.
normally go to a restaurant,
No, true, of course.
No, or in a bar, you'll never
never-
ask in a bottle.
I've
because-
never seen it in a bottle in Belgium. They always
Yeah.
have a glass.
Yeah.
Because it is partly it's the ritual,
Mhm.
and partly, as you said, there's a special glass for each beer,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Mhm.
You've got to have the right vessel. I mean,
But in this country, increasingly in pubs and bars, it's unusual to have a glass, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
They always assume that.
But it's interesting. Yes, it is, but not for beer.
Well, bottled beers, though.
Well, the issue, yes, I suppose so. In some respects, I always distinguish this because, as a general rule, on the continent, if you ask for a beer, okay, there are some exceptions with Belgian beers. You go for a beer, you actually get a lager, and you know, and in this country, most beer drinkers are they're either lager drinkers or they're beer drinkers. Most people don't generally like both. There are there's a number of exceptions, but me, I'm a beer man. I don't like lager. So, but when I go abroad, I go to France or somewhere, you have to have lager because that's all they sell you. They call it beer, but for us, it is in fact it's lager. It's the way it's brewed.
Right, let's get on, guys, shall we?
Should we do the